As a result of the strike of the Ukrainian Defense Forces on the Engels airfield, 96 Russian missiles were destroyed. The attack took place on the night of March 20th. This was reported by RBC-Ukraine with reference to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to updated information, as a result of the strike by the Ukrainian Defense Forces on the Engels, 2 airfield of the Russian Aerospace Forces on March 20, 2025, the enemy lost 96 air-launched cruise missiles. In particular, as a result of secondary detonation, the report says. As the General Staff clarified, the specified number of missiles was calculated to carry out 3 missile strikes during March-April of this year. Also, strikes on Russian aviation fuel storage sites resulted in the destruction of significant reserves, which negatively impacts the enemy's ability to support combat operations. Let us recall that on the night of March 20th, explosions thundered in the area of the Russian airfield Engels, in the Saratov region, and a strong fire broke out there. Russians complained about the attack. The network reported that a weapons depot was attacked and that there were sounds of detonation in the area. The head of the Center for Preventive Action, Andrei Kovalenko, reported that after the attack on Engels, the Russians lost missiles, in particular the Kh-101 air-to-ground cruise missiles. RBC-Ukraine sources reported that the attack on the Russian airfield was an operation by the SBU and the Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The General Staff confirmed this. The internet assumed that Ukraine had allegedly struck the Engels with a domestic long Neptune missile. However, an aviation expert in a comment to the RBC-Ukraine YouTube channel expressed the opinion that this was an exaggeration. Russian Channel 1 military correspondent Anna Prokofieva was killed in the Belgorod region. Russian blogger Vladimir Romanov reported this on his Telegram channel. According to him, the journalist died on March 26 while carrying out an editorial assignment. The blogger said that Prokofieva worked in the village of Demidovka, Krasnoyarsk district. The circumstances of her death were not reported. It should be noted that on March 24, Izvestia correspondent Alexander Fedorchak, Zvezda cameraman and driver Andrei Panov and Alexander Serkely were killed in the Luhansk region. Izvestia wrote that Fedorchak had been working in the combat zone since 2022. Her last report on the situation in the Kupiansk direction was recorded the day before. He was a special correspondent of Zvezda TV channel in 2022 to 2023, and before that he worked as an editor at Krim 24 TV channel for 4 years. Izvestia said Fedorchak had entered the Luhansk region, most of which has been captured by invading Russian forces, after reporting from the Kupiansk area in the neighboring Kharkiv region, one of the areas where Russian forces have made advances against Ukraine's troops in recent months. Russia's state-controlled English-language RT outlet posted an image of Fedorchak on social media, saying only that the war correspondent's circumstances of death are not clear yet. The Zvezda channel, which is sponsored by Moscow's Ministry of Defense, later said that its correspondent, Nikita Golden, had also been seriously wounded in the attack, which it described as a strike on a civilian vehicle. Ukrainian officials have yet to comment on the Russian claims that the journalists were targeted. Fighters from the 28th, 93rd and 53rd Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces have prevented Russian invaders from entering the industrial zone in Toretsk city in eastern Donetsk region and strengthening their position in the area. The invaders, who were advancing in small groups, were intercepted by drone operators of the Gurza unit. The invaders who wanted to advance were first targeted by drones. Later, while trying to enter the building, they were destroyed mainly by small arms fire. The only surviving soldier was shot and killed while trying to leave the area. Aerial reconnaissance units of the Magyar Group under the 59th Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces have intercepted and struck several armored combat vehicles, including armored personnel carriers and infantry fighting vehicles of the occupying Russian army in Donetsk region. As a result of strikes carried out by drones controlled via fiber optic communication, the vehicles equipped with anti-drone devices were destroyed in explosions. As vehicles were loaded with ammunition, the explosion was very strong.
Що? Ой, вибачте, мікрофон був включений.
Це нормально, так і треба. Тобто ви організували міні-ядерний вибух.
Так і зафіксуємо. Детонація дня 26 березня. Хоча день ще весь попереду, ввечері вийду з оперативкою. А поки у якості вдячності вам за вашу довіру, небайдужість та зусилля, ще одне фаєр-шоу хробачої консерви, вщент забитої БК та ПММ. У виконанні F-10 пілотами Клімч, БМП-ха, глибоке занурення. Йовчик, терпіння, які у вас очікування, кілька раз гепне, рахуємо. Ніби й достатньо, але... Детонюрен. Думаєте, все? Фака, як кажуть, відчхав на високій ноті, точнісінько, як урочистий вогнеграй. Дякую всім, хто підтримав збір. Слава Україні! Честь!